The KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, future teachers get recognized ahead of graduation day at Pitt State.
Also, a new housing project in Joplin could help address a need for affordable homes as city leaders plan to clear out an old hospital.
And we have storm potential returning later this morning and through the weekend.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowe.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney. 7 o'clock this Friday morning.
Yes.
I don't remember the date. What did you say it was?
May 16th.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. Middle of May already. I mean,
Middle
we're
of
just
May.
blowing through the year.
We certainly are. It's flying by. And of course, with the middle of May means it's graduation season for a lot of both high school and college seniors. And last night, soon-to-be teachers were recognized for their achievements in school before they go into the workforce.
KOAM's Anthony Saviello tells us more about how this ceremony highlights the next generation of educators.
A move from being taught to the one who's doing the teaching. PSU students majoring in education have one more step before graduation day.
It's our effort to welcome these new teachers into the profession, so as moving from our students to become our colleagues. So that's really special for us.
For one student, the choice to become an educator was easy.
I had a lot of really good teachers in high school that I felt very connected to, and I was lucky enough to have them supporting me, so I wanted to do the same thing that they were doing, showing support to students who maybe didn't feel it in other areas. And I was a busy bee in high school, so having that extra support really helped, and I want to be able to help provide students with that.
For those looking to follow in Allison's footsteps, she has a piece of advice.
Stick with it. Really don't think about anything that people are saying about education. Care about the students. If you show up and you have the students in mind and you just remove everything else, you're going to do great.
As she walks across the stage in a similar fashion to what she will do on graduation day, a medallion is donned, representing her education at Pitt State and desire to become a teacher. But before she starts teaching, she'll have her summer to relax.
I am going to read for fun. I've already started a couple books, and so I'm just reading as much as I can. I'm hanging out at home. I'm getting in the sun, and hopefully I'll be hanging out with my friends, going to the lake, and kayaking, hopefully.
In Pittsburgh, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Well, students from the College of Education will have their commencement ceremony tonight at 7 p.m.
Man, graduation day is so exciting.
So
for
special,
so many
I
people.
know.
It's been about 2 years for me now.
Yeah, 3 years for me.
Wow. Well, I mean, once you hit graduation, things just fly by.
They
but
certainly do.
Graduation is so exciting for all of those students that are graduating this
so
year.
exciting
stuff. Well, unfortunately, we do have weather this weekend, some storms. Hopefully, it all holds out for graduation ceremonies, but tonight, or today at least, we've got isolated storm chances. Now you can see where our big threat is going to be out for eastern parts of Missouri into Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and even northern parts of Tennessee. But we are in just an isolated storm risk as they push in to the area mid-morning to early afternoon. So it's not a long threat. We've got a short window of storms. We've got clear skies right now, though, not even a cloud in sight. Nice looking sunrise. Temperatures are in the low to mid 60s. We've got clear skies continuing. However, in the next couple of hours, more storms are going to start to pop up. But currently, big threat for storms is going to be out in Arkansas, Missouri, and into Kentucky. They're dealing with clusters of thunderstorms this morning and again later on this evening, so they're getting hit pretty hard. But we are going to be sunny most of the day. You can see as we head into the next 30 minutes to an hour, temperatures really start to spike. Now we're going to have an isolated shower there south of Jay out in Oklahoma, but the isolated supercell staying south in Arkansas, south of Bella Vista and into Benton County. Now, as it pushes in, could see those storms moving through Bella Vista into Cassville all the way out towards Monette. You can see the rest of us have clear skies north of I-44. These isolated storms push out towards Monette and out towards Springfield by about noon before we're all clear. Sunny skies return, temperatures get back into the mid 80s. Now we do have storms returning Saturday night, and again we've got that severe potential on Sunday. We have scattered to numerous thunderstorms on Sunday, so we could see a potential for some severe weather continuing into the weekend. I'll have those details coming up.
All right, we'll see you soon, Lindsay. Thanks. Ottawa County prosecutors drop a DUI charge in a crash that killed a 9-year-old boy. The incident happened in April, and Douglas Gray of Miami was driving a UTV when 9-year-old Easton Freeman fell and hit his head. It was hit while running alongside it. Now, that's according to witnesses. EMS took Easton to a Tulsa hospital where he died. Gray and his passengers were uninjured. Court records indicate Gray refused preliminary breath and blood tests, but a court-ordered blood draw was taken. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol tells KOAM those results are still pending. The OHP had recommended a manslaughter charge, but the Ottawa-Delaware County District Attorney's Office amended it and filed a DUI charge before dropping it this week. The Highway Patrol says the investigation is ongoing and they will continue working with the DA's office and providing details behind recommended charges. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Plans for 3 two-story duplexes along Sargent, along between 20th and 21st Streets are underway. And it appears there's a need. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton learned, city officials say Joplin has a shortage of affordable housing for low-income residents.
The development that we're building is a proven design that we've built before, and now we're building it at a larger scale.
Thomas Walter is Joplin City's planner. He says affordability of housing can be tough sometimes.
Very difficult to build affordable housing at very low incomes or at the getting closer to the middle incomes, because the other programs available tend to be more in the 60% affordability range.
And that's not all. Scott Clayton, the executive director of Joplin Area Habitat for Humanity, says more affordable housing is much needed in the Joplin area.
64% of renters spend more than 30% of their income on their housing. And of that 64%, 34% spend more than 50% on housing.
This housing is going to be top notch, according to Walter.
It's going to be a very high quality, high design build to be very compatible with the neighborhood.
Walter says this is a federally funded project, meaning there are a few hurdles to overcome.
Following the demolishing of the building, we'll begin the environmental clearances and the final underwriting of the project.
Once they get started, it hopefully won't take long to finish.
Estimated time for construction is approximately, for all units, 14 months.
Clayton says he's happy to help change lives.
And it's always a great thing because somebody can start their life anew in a location where they feel safe and secure and something they worked hard for.
Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Now, right now, there's no set date when demolition of the former Freeman Hospital will begin. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, the Supreme Court hears arguments concerning birthright citizenship. We'll have the latest. And later, a chain of coffee shops looks to help adults who struggle with disabilities. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from the Key Club Park in Miami, Oklahoma. Topping Nation Watch this morning, the justices on the Supreme Court wrestling through a high-stakes case involving birthright citizenship. The case coming in the wake of President Trump signing an executive order on his first day of his second term that would deny citizenship to children born to people who are in the country illegally or temporarily. A majority of the court expressed concerns about what would happen if the Trump administration were allowed, if even temporarily, to deny citizenship to children born to people who are in the U.S. illegally. A decision in the case is expected by late June or early July. Officials say a sextortion ring that targeted thousands of minors worldwide has been disrupted. Alfred Cassi and a group of 3 accomplices were arrested in Cote d'Ivoire for their alleged role in the scheme. Now, U.S. federal prosecutors say thousands of people, including minors, were deceived into sending explicit images. U.S. officials say Because Cote d'Ivoire does not extradite its citizens to other countries, Kasi and his alleged accomplices will be prosecuted there under the nation's cybercrime laws. Well, the nation's top transportation officials testified in Washington yesterday. The hearings that were held revealed scathing details of safety issues in the sky and at airports like Washington's Reagan National Airport. Sherelle Hubbard has more.
The summer travel season is fast approaching, but damning testimony coming out of Washington Thursday may leave some travelers leery. Reports of a, quote, critical air traffic controller shortage.
We're 3,000 short. We've been 3,000 short for some time.
An old air traffic control system.
The system we currently use, it truly is 25, 35, 40 years old in some places.
And a flying public paying the price.
We've let it age, and now we're seeing the cracks of that age play out in real time for us.
A top FAA official told a Senate committee the agency is considering new restrictions on military helicopter flights near DCA. This nearly 4 months after the deadliest U.S. airline crash in more than a decade between a military helicopter and commercial American Airlines flight on January 29th.
Everything's on the table right now in our review to make sure that we keep a safe environment for the vicinity around DCA.
The FAA's Franklin McIntosh also promising fixes a day after a shocking revelation about communication systems between the Pentagon and Reagan National Airport.
Is it true that the hotline, the direct line between the Pentagon Air Traffic Control and the DCA tower, has been inoperable since March of 2022?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Despite challenges, the Transportation Secretary maintains that safety is key and the system is safe. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
A portion of the Denver Air Route Traffic Control Center had a 90-second communications blackout Monday afternoon, according to the FAA. Similar problems were twice reported at New Jersey's Newark Liberty International Airport within the last week. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. We'll be right back.
Well, we have storm chances returning today and through the rest of the weekend. Isolated chances today, mostly just clipping our southeastern counties. Isolated chances tomorrow, but we have scattered to numerous chances of storms on Sunday for multiple parts of the day. Now taking a look at our current radar, we've got clear skies, maybe a few clouds starting to push in, but overall a good looking morning. We've got thunderstorms out to the east of us. Now you can see, taking a look outside downtown Pittsburgh, clear sunny morning. Temperatures are in the mid 60s, but what we're expecting over the next couple of hours are an isolated storm or two to start to pop up. Now you can see just south of Bella Vista, Bentonville area, isolated storm starting to push in. Now it's going to move a little bit further north, northeast, might be clipping Cassville or just to the east of it, and then moving up towards Monette and then out towards the east. Not long lived. This is about a 2-hour window before we're back to clear sunny skies. Now you can see the threat for severe weather stays to the east of us throughout this afternoon, but we've got clear skies for the rest of the day. Now we're starting off again mid 60s. Nice, little windy out there. Winds gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour, but we're warming up into the mid 80s today. Now by 7 p.m. temperatures finally getting back down into the 70s. Clear skies remain, but we're dropping down through the 70s and into the 60s for overnight low. Now, clear skies remain all the way through Saturday as well. Through the day on Saturday, it is going to be really wonderful, warm, sunny, temperatures reaching low 80s, about 81 degrees. And then storms return late Sunday evening. So we're going to have isolated storms starting about 8 to 9 p.m., but becoming more widespread overnight and into Sunday morning. Now on Sunday, we have that chance for more widespread severe thunderstorms. So let's go ahead and take a look as we head into Saturday night, 11:30. You can see clusters of thunderstorms moving in south and along of I-44. Then overnight, storms push a little bit further north as they move in. Again, might be a severe threat there overnight Saturday and into Sunday. Could see mainly a wind threat, a little bit of hail, possibly tornado as well. But as we head into Sunday morning, that threat diminishes through the morning hours. It clears out. We're going to have a couple pop-up showers and thunderstorms through the day along with overcast skies. And then heading into Sunday evening, a line of thunderstorms pushes in. Now this line, it's a linear line of storms, Main threat, usually with a linear line of storms, is strong wind gusts, 70 miles per hour, hail, and spin-up tornadoes. They're a little weaker than isolated storm tornadoes, but you could still see those spin up as it pushes in. So that's going to be our main threat for Sunday evening. You can see it starting to move in about 8 to 8:30. As it pushes in, it falls apart slightly right when it hits that Missouri border, but those storms are still going to be pretty strong. Now finally starts to clear out by about 2 to 3 in the morning on Monday, but more storms return Monday and Tuesday. So we've got scattered storm chances Monday, Tuesday, finally clearing out. Temperatures take a dip as we head into Wednesday, mid-60s, but we're back into the 70s through the second half of the work week and then 80s through next weekend. Might get a couple of pop-up thunderstorms Saturday and Sunday as well. You can see we call those pulse storms, typically form due to just surface heating. They're short-lived and not widespread. So that's what we could expect next weekend. But until then, we're going to have 4 to 5 days of thunderstorm chances starting mid-morning today. Now that's a look at your forecast. We'll be right back. While living with intellectual disabilities like autism or Down syndrome can be a significant challenge for many, especially when it comes to finding a job as an adult.
But there's a chain of coffee shops that are trying to change that, and they just opened up their first shop in North Texas. Bo Evans went to Frisco to find out how a cup of coffee can change a life.
Welcome to me and Bo's.
Meet Matthew Phillips. He's 23 and just started working at a coffee shop in Frisco.
I wanted to work here because so that I can make more friends.
In a lot of ways, Matthew is like most 23-year-olds. He loves sports and spends his days working. But in other ways, he's a lot different.
I have autism, and I got diagnosed when I was 9 years old. It was kind of hard for me because when I was in school, many people used to make fun of me.
And while his disability might make him different outside these doors, at Biddy and Bo's, he's just another employee.
Well, I'm making a hot coffee, iced tea, lemonade water. There's 78 customers.
I've always been different. I always known I've been different, and I thought there was something wrong with me.
All the employees at Biddy and Bo's have an intellectual disability. Many of them have struggled to find work until now.
Your first job.
This one?
Yeah.
It took me a year to find my job, but I feel so blessed that God found a job for me.
The North Carolina-based coffee shop is more than just Java. It's a movement to celebrate and value diversity. The chain wants people with intellectual disabilities to know that they're not broken, just like their hat says.
But I know that there's no mistakes. God makes no mistakes.
Well, such an incredible program and company. They're helping adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. It's great to see that work being done.
Absolutely.
Very inspirational.
Absolutely. And Frisco, Texas is beautiful. I've been once before. I know you mentioned it too. So great area. Yeah. Great coffee shop.
Lots of great work.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, coming up, riders from the Fort Scott Rodeo team look to rope in a national title.
And we have storms returning later on this morning and through the weekend. I'll have a look coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOA Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:28. I'm Elise Snowy. The Miami Public Library turned to the public for ways it can implement grant money to better serve the community. The library plans to use the grant to develop and distribute new tools, resources, and support for librarians to help them engage the community in new ways, specifically an enhancement to their services and materials for individuals with cognitive challenges and disabilities.
We want to speak with the people that we are targeting themselves. So if someone has a cognitive disability, if someone has autism, is anywhere on the spectrum, we want their input, whether it's an adult or a child. We have some surveys with pictures for kids where they can circle things. Adults can do that too. They can write on there what they're struggling with. But it's important because we need to hear from them directly what they want.
The grant came from the American Library Association's Transforming Communities initiative. Seniors at Carthage High School take a trip down memory lane yesterday. It's part of an annual tradition known as Walk the Halls, a special moment for Carthage Tigers. Graduating seniors returned to their elementary schools, walking through the halls as the younger students cheered them on. It's a chance to reflect on the journey so far and to inspire the next generation of Tigers.
Coming back at the beginning, it was a lot smaller. It was just kind of like, cramped a little bit. But it's nice to see all the changes and all the new faces and stuff like that.
Carthage's graduation is today. And it was nice weather and a sizable crowd for last night's third Thursday event in downtown Joplin. The theme this month centered around Route 66 as Main Street transformed into a retro roadside celebration. It included a vintage car cruise and, as always, lots of food and drinks, arts and crafts, a bounce house for kids, live music, and about 140 vendors from a wide range of Joplin area businesses.
The kids come up acting like they might have a car that they need detailed, but really they just need a piece of candy.
It's fun. I'm a people watcher, and so it's really interesting. I run into a lot of, friends. In fact, about 7 of my grandchildren showed up here tonight.
Joplin's third Thursday event runs from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. on the third Thursday of every month through October. Now let's head over to Lindsay for a quick look at your forecast.
Well, we've got storm potential returning later on this morning after about 10 a.m. Now you can see where the threat for severe weather is mostly out towards the east of Missouri into Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. We have isolated chances for storms later on this morning. Main threat with those storms are going to be 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but we can't rule out other modes of severe weather as well. Now, currently looking beautiful outside, a nice little sunrise this morning, clear skies, and temperatures in the low 60s. We've got clear skies continuing, might get a couple of clouds up there in the northern counties, but overall clear skies for most of the day as that severe threat stays mostly to the south and east of us. Now, they're seeing storms currently, severe thunderstorms, out in the same area that's going to receive another round of severe storms tomorrow or later on today as well. Now, we're only getting that isolated chance, just clipping our southeastern counties. South of Jay, Oklahoma might get an isolated shower or two by about 10:30. And then south of Bella Vista, Bentonville, and Gravette, Arkansas, the isolated supercell starts to push in. Now again, main threat is going to be strong wind gusts, but could see some hail threat as well, and maybe even a low risk for tornado. Now it's going to continue to push through Arkansas, push through Bella Vista, Bentonville, into Cassville, and then up towards Monette before it starts to push out towards the east, south of Springfield, maybe into the Branson area. And then we're back to clear skies for the rest of the day. Temperatures also reach low to mid 80s. So it's going to be a really nice warm day after we get past those morning storms. And then tomorrow, isolated chances of storms, plus Sunday scattered to numerous chances of severe thunderstorms. So we're going to keep an eye on the weekend, especially on Sunday, but I'll have all those details coming up.
All right, we'll see you soon, Lindsay. Thanks. Well, next month, Southeast Kansas will be represented at the national level. KOAM's Samantha Walker met with the Fort Scott Community College rodeo team to learn about their work to get there.
For 28 years, Chad Cross has been coaching generations of riders on the Fort Scott Community College rodeo team.
Our rodeo team is really not any different than a football team. Obviously, the events are quite different, but they're student athletes and do all the stuff. And we work hard, train hard, and practice hard.
The rodeo team is well accomplished, winning their regional competition 3 years in a row. This year, the team as a whole qualified for the College National Finals Rodeo in Casper, Wyoming.
We've just been blessed with good opportunities, and we were going to try our best either way, and we knew what we wanted to do, and we just strove after it, and very blessed it ended up how it did.
6 young men will be representing Fort Scott, competing in both bareback and saddle bronc riding events.
There was always a goal, and then it just feels good when you accomplish it. It feels good to go out there with the team.
Both the riders and the coaches say the team is here every day, putting the work in before they hit stage.
It's one of those things like we know what we want, we know what we need to do to get there. We're just going to go out there and just do our job like we would anywhere else.
You know, you always have to have it on your mind, thinking about it, and put in work, practice, and you really just can't ever stop thinking about it.
And while the competition in Casper will be tough, with the 40 best collegiate athletes competing in each event, the team has confidence.
If they draw good, they're going to ride good, and I think we have a really good chance of walking out there national champs.
I think our whole crew just kind of goes on the idea that we're ordinary people with the goal of doing extraordinary things.
And makes Southeast Kansas proud, all the same.
Fort Scott isn't the biggest area, but the amount of support we have around this area it's pretty special.
You want to do well for the people around you, and then knowing they have your back it's a good feeling.
Reporting in Fort Scott, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The College National Finals Rodeo will start June 15th. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Shannon Becker joins us with his big 3 stories of the week. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from the Key Club Park in Miami, Oklahoma. Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. Good morning, Shannon.
Hello, you look fantastic in your yellow. Well, in my black.
Matching a little bit.
I know, look at these pants. Nobody can see them. Aren't they great? Let's take a look at the big 3 stories this week. What's happening where you live? Our number 3 story: a motorcycle collision at MacArthur Drive and Prairie Flower, St. Louis. There, it's actually the border of Webb City and Joplin. Motorcycle T-boned that vehicle that pulled in front of him. A 19-year-old young man from Joplin. He suffered serious injuries, we'll say.
Okay.
And I talked to the family a couple of days later. He's actually up and attempting to walk. I mean, after you have surgeries and stuff, after you have surgery, they make you get up. And he is actually up and around, but he's obviously still a long road of recovery. We're talking months of rehab and stuff. But he did survive. Had his helmet, had everything on necessarily. And I think also it's a testament. He was probably about running the speed limit, police had told us. Because if he was speeding really fast, it would be more damage to that vehicle for sure. We'll continue to follow that story. Our number 2, Joplin News First, live and local. What's happening where you live? Well, it closed down the Miami Turnpike for the entire evening. This tractor trailer, everyone wondered how that happened. Well, it came off the highway and then went up the side of the hill and then struck the toll. It's the gate, the big overhead thing that holds all the cameras for the new tolls. Nobody was injured, but the driver was. That was when we were there later in the evening. It was quite a mess. No one was injured, but the driver was ticketed, obviously. And most usually, what people don't realize, your insurance will pay for that replacement of all those parts.
Oh, really?
The guardrails and stuff like that. You don't just get to crash in all that and leave it like that. So Santa Fe Towing also removed all that. It was a long process, like I said. Our number 1 story, KOAM News Now. This was a historic home. Oh my goodness, 132 years old. Jane Chin is cousins with the founder of Webb City, John Webb. And she came to Joplin, or the Joplin area necessarily, was one of the founding people of the town. And then, so this was her home, her private residence, caught fire, burned mainly the upstairs, but if you can see this damage, it was kind of hard to see in the dark. You can't light up a whole house like that. But we do have some images here where you can see it the next morning that we took. The entire upstairs is just gone, you can see. The home built in like 1893. That's going to be a lot of rehab to be able to put that back together. So not necessarily sure if that's going to be able to be.
Is it considered a historic landmark in the city?
Oh, yes. In the city of Webb City, yes. It definitely is for the area, Our our bonus story of the week. Who doesn't love a carnival?
I know.
Oh my gosh. Even when I was a kid, the Evans United shows used to come to the North Park Mall when I was a kid. Yes, they would come to the mall. There were times when they would also be at Joplin's Memorial Hall, and we always had so much fun, me and my brother. So you can buy wristbands for different sessions. We've got those sessions listed on our website. And then also you can buy individual rides, perhaps if you have little ones and stuff like that. They've got all the good carnival food. And when I was there last weekend, the parking lot was so packed. I've not seen the mall packed like that in 10 years. Like everybody was really, really enjoying it. And as long as Lindsay's forecast is true, she's going to be good about it, because she controls the weather. Then we can all enjoy our last weekend at the Spring Carnival at the North Park Mall.
Get a funnel cake or something.
Yeah.
It's always good. All right, Shannon, thanks so much for being with us this morning. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Well, we have storm chances returning today and through the rest of the weekend. Now today and tomorrow we mostly have these isolated chances. That's what the green represents. So it's been a little bit of a shift from the Storm Prediction Center. The green shows isolated chances. The yellow shows scattered chances of storms. And the orange shows numerous storms moving through the area. Now once you get into the red and the purple, that's more widespread and outbreak storms. So we are seeing those chances continuing through the weekend. Now currently, clusters of thunderstorms are making their way across Arkansas into eastern Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, especially Indiana, and northern parts of Tennessee. Now they're getting hit pretty hard today because not only are they seeing this round of storms, but they're also seeing another round coming in later on this evening. That's coming from us, but we don't have those storm chances until mid to late morning, and they're isolated. So currently, downtown Joplin, you can see clear skies, not a cloud in sight right now, so it's a gorgeous morning. But we are going to see those isolated storms starting to pop up by about 9 a.m. up in the south or northeastern part of Oklahoma into Bonita, Miami, and then start to push in along and south of I-44 into southwestern Missouri. Now that's going to clear out by about 11:30 to noon. You can see that isolated storm making its way out towards Branson area, but then clearing out completely of our area by noon, and we're back to sunny skies for the rest of the day. Now, currently, temperatures are getting into the lower mid 60s. We are still seeing winds gusting 20-25 miles per hour. But as we head home for the day, temperatures are going to be in the 80s. And again, sunny skies return following those isolated storm chances through late morning. By the time we head into this evening, clear skies return or continue, but temperatures drop down through the 70s into the 60s for an overnight low dropping down to the low 60s. Now for the weekend, looking okay on Saturday. We're going to have a nice start. Sunny skies, temperatures reaching the low 80s, but we do have a stormy Saturday night, isolated chances starting earlier in the evening and then becoming more widespread overnight and into early Sunday morning. We've got severe storm potential returning Sunday night as well. Let's go ahead and take a look. We've got these clusters of thunderstorms late Saturday evening, mostly along and south of I-44, but more thunderstorms start to push in from the west into our central and northern counties. Now that's going to be all the way through Sunday morning. You can see 6 a.m. all the way until about 9 a.m. before clearing out. But overcast skies for the day, meaning we might see isolated shower or two continuing throughout the early afternoon into early evening. But then we have a line of thunderstorms returning Sunday. You can see this is about 8 to 8:30 p.m. line of storms pushing in. Now it could move in a little bit quicker, starting as early as 7 p.m. because with a linear system like this, they're moving quickly. We've got winds gusting up to 70 miles per hour driving these storms in. Now they're going to fall apart a little bit, just slightly along that Missouri border, but still going to be pretty strong storms. Now it'll continue to push through, clearing out by about 3 a.m. on Monday morning. Now with that system, we could expect spin up tornadoes, hail, and wind threat. It's not the end of our storm chances because we do have scattered thunderstorms returning Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures take a dip on Wednesday down to the mid 60s, but we're back into the 70s and even into the 80s by next weekend with pop-up thunderstorm chances returning next weekend as well. Now that's a look at your forecast. We'll be right back.
Well, if you've been pushing off your spring cleaning, one Vermont-based DJ is making a playlist to help complete your to-do list. And the catch, you still have to clean up around the house.
But you'll have your own personal cheerleader to get you through the heavy lifting. Jackson Stopper has the story.
If you're like Dove Michael Schiller, you may have been putting off your spring cleaning.
There's always more to clean.
But sometimes all you need is a helping hand.
2, 1.
And a little music to get the job done.
I'm all about making things like a little bit more fun.
Meet Terry Lee Weathers, also known as DJ Chitata.
I kind of dress like I'm in a costume all the time.
With only 3 months on the DJ scene, picking up gigs across downtown Burlington, Tara Lee wanted to showcase her newfound passion in a different environment.
Beats and rhythms and music.
Like in your living room.
Some very animated, creative, colorful woman has arrived in our living room with this full-on DJ setup.
Here's how it works. You have 1 hour to clean up the mess, whether it's an overflow of dishes in the sink.
There's too many dishes. Here goes the glassware. Woohoo!
wait. There we go. Or a cluttered living room. And she drops the beats.
It kind of went crazy and everybody was like, this is the best idea. Can you come to Denver and can you come here? So I think I might also like travel with this.
Tara Lee has ADHD and says, like many, it can be hard for her to focus on everyday tasks.
I have a lot of friends that have ADHD, and one day my friend invited me over to her house to sit on her bed while she put her laundry away that she wasn't able to put away for, I think she said like a month or something like that. And then she put it away in a half an hour and it was amazing.
So she's ready to be in your corner and help get things moving and grooving. If you're waiting for a rainy day to plug in the vacuum, Tara Lee says give her a call or contact her on social media and she'll bring the party to your front door.
Let's make it fun. Like, I hate cleaning and I hate organizing and I hate all the things, but music makes everything better.
It only took Dobe about half an hour to make the place shine, something he says DJ Chitata gets all the credit for.
I couldn't think of a better way to be inspired to clean than having great music behind you.
Wow.
Very interesting. I mean, it's extremely unique. And you and I were just talking about we both hate doing the dishes.
Yes, we do.
But, you know, I get it. Sometimes a good playlist or even a podcast, whatever, you put your earbuds in and kind of get in the zone.
I grew up with my mom when she would clean, listening to Motown, just blaring it through the house. That's what I do to get through, you know, spring cleaning or just
it's not always the best.
Regular cleaning.
Speaking of spring, though, those showers are on their way.
Yeah, they are. We've got isolated storms today, but for the weekend, storms return Saturday night after a really wonderful day on Saturday. Temperatures reaching the 80s both days, but more widespread scattered thunderstorms Saturday night into Sunday morning with severe potential returning Sunday night. So we're going to have a pretty rainy, stormy Sunday that starts late Saturday night, but those storms don't go anywhere until after Tuesday. So we're going to have a couple more days of storm chances across the 4 states. And we'll be right back.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Ottawa County prosecutors drop a DUI charge against Douglas Gray of Miami in a crash that killed a 9-year-old boy. Gray was driving a UTV when 9-year-old Easton Freeman fell and was hit while running alongside it. EMS took Easton to a Tulsa hospital where he died. The Highway Patrol says the investigation is ongoing and they will continue working with the DA's office and providing details behind recommended charges. And the Joplin City Planner provides the artist rendering for the new low-income housing development in Joplin. The plan is for 3 2-story duplexes along Sargent Avenue between 20th and 21st Streets. The city has not yet established a timeline for demolition of the old hospital or construction of the new housing. And the Miami Public Library turned to the public for ways it can implement grant money to serve the community better. The library plans to use the grant to develop and distribute new tools, resources, and support for librarians to help them engage the community in new ways. The grant came from the American Library Association's Transforming Communities initiative. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Well, we have isolated storm chances starting around 10 a.m., continuing until about noon before it all clears out. Very isolated, staying mostly south of I-44. But as we head into the weekend, we've got more storms returning late Saturday night, becoming more widespread overnight into Sunday morning, with a severe threat returning Sunday night. Now, those storms don't clear out of here until midweek next week. And then we're starting off a little bit cooler before we warm back up for the weekend. So we've got a lot going on this week and this week, and next week.
A lot to look out for, Lindsay. Thanks. Well, dozens of swimmers braved challenging weather in Florida to participate in a charity swim. The charity swim was for the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay. Footage shows people swimming off the shore of Clearwater Beach amid wind gusts in what appears to be choppy waters.
According to the city of Tampa, the Crisis Center offers free counseling for locals having trouble coping with the devastating trauma.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't know if I would be brave enough. For me, it's the sharks.
Are you a strong swimmer? The sharks.
I am a strong swimmer. I swam competitively through high school, but it's the sharks that would scare me.
Yeah.
Or the stingrays. All of the sea creatures.
I'm right there with you.
Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.